Hello and welcome. I'll go online now to support your possibility to find me here, and at the same time, I'll just ensure that the link is shared for availability for everyone who wants to participate in this first lesson, this first meeting in our stress release 6-day online workshop course. And this is for everybody to attend and to benefit of the energy work and the teaching that goes with it. And then you can see if you have a sense of attending the next 5 days. So I just ensure that it's findable. And just wait a couple of minutes for you to be able to find me. I'm meeting here, teaching. Let's see. Super. Let's see if I can see you here. I can. Just use a few more minutes to ensure that you find me here. So this is the first day in the 6-day workshop, open for everybody. If you sense the importance and the benefit of your participation, you can sign up for the rest of the 5-day sessions in the course and the benefit. You can use this lesson, this session, so perhaps you can give me a sign that you are here by put a word in the comment. But I know you can also participate in the homepage, and there, if you are on your phone, it's a bit difficult to find where you can comment. Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you. Okay. So this first day is related to, or the theme is stabilization and acute release of grief and pain in your system, specifically related to your nervous system. I'm Marian Lane. I'm a modern shaman. I'm working within the New Era system of energy work, and this ensures that the energy work is suitable for everybody who participates and that it will reach you through time and space. So even though this is an online gathering and perhaps you will join in on replay, the experiences from previous experiences that it works either way. If you haven't tried such before, you can join in adventurous and see how it works for you. Breathe a couple of times. So I hope you bear with me, and I might even I allow myself to check spelling, or no, not spelling, pronunciation. Check words if it comes to me. So I hope that's okay too. I work continuously with energy work since 2012, full time since 2014, and have performed or opened to facilitate thousands of healings. The most dense of the healings that I have facilitated, and I actually don't like the word facilitated, I just see if I can open the channeling instead of the thinking. So here it comes. So most of the healings where I held the field for the healings to support the energy deliverance for the receiver, most of them have been light energies where it receives you. It will be received in your system in a light way that lifts you and supports your system to lift itself to a balanced state where it releases itself. This is the new era way, and it works really well. We have tremendous experiences of how it works and how it delivers balance, release, and meetings with the self that rebalances and reopens our inner knowledge, our inner wisdom, our capacities into our nowadays availabilities. But when I began to work with people who had tense nervous systems, I had an experience with this, that the energy work supported them well when we were sitting in the energy together. And sometimes it worked throughout the day, or perhaps even the next day, but then it disappeared. It kind of dissolved itself. And to me, then there's no meaning to support anyone with energy work, especially because when you are supported and you have a tense nervous system, and perhaps you have a nervous system that has been activated so much that it had disturbed your life and disturbed your possibility to be you. In such a situation, a short relief that afterwards will dissolve itself is worse than no help. Because if you are really caught in your nervous system, if you're really activated, then the relief is like being able to breathe again after lacking oxygen. And then if you experience it, the release, the availability of the breathing of life and energy, and then it closes again, then it's more painful than if it's not opening. So I went into the communication, the collaboration with the consciousness and the energy field of the new era to find out solutions, or how can we use this kind of energy work for this kind of problems. And In the new era energy, we will never use our own system or own energy. In the old era, you have different ways where the healer in original ways use their own energy, and in that time your healing will be completely contributed by the healer's personal state, physically, emotionally, and consciously. There's different stages of that today. When you are using complete new era standards or systems, then there's no exchange at all of personal energy between us. The energy unfolds itself and mirror itself in the highest balance states where we are so perfectly aligned that our personal state and energy is not contributing to the healing, to the energy. You can say we are pointers that ensures that the energy follows intentions, but that's all. To reach these levels of energies that's needed to reach the nervous system, enhancement was needed. All the new era energy work is delivered in a layer just above and below the physical layer. These layers above and below the physical layers contains and exists through your energy system. When you are working with the energy system, it supports your physical system to work better and enhanced in a way where you as an energy worker, as a healer, in no way at all describe the healing or write the healing. It's creating itself. The creator of the healing is balanced states of consciousness that has been created throughout the universe and is contained in stable libraries in a high level, such a high level that we cannot directly connect with it with our everyday vibrations, so we cannot disturb it with our ways of being. But to create this kind of energy work that can reach and support the nervous system, we found out that if you can use your energy system as an engine to support the creation of clear energies that still is non-personal, then you can enhance the new era, secure, clean, clear energies in a way where they can reach the nervous system. And as a tryout, I would like to show you how it works, because that will be natural also for us to open the energy today. Take a couple of intentional sighs. Sense your body. Connect by allowing your consciousness, your awareness to connect with your body. And if you are sensitive, you might now experience that there's enhancement of the energy in the field that surrounds you. This is the field of new era consciousness that we are using as modern shamans of the new era, as I am. And when I put my intention and you put your intention in a meeting where we will participate in support delivered by the new era consciousness field. It opens to us no matter where we are in our way, as it mirrors our system, our field, and nothing else. Our field, our system, our capacities in every part of our system that has an extension that we cannot comprehend in any way. Science have only scratched the surface to the understanding of the system that we are, and how everything's function like in a closed system by itself, and within this closed system by itself there's several closed systems that works together and in itself at the same time. In this closed system we have exchanges through our surface with the surroundings, with our reality, in different dimensions and different layers, and established in our biology, in our consciousness related to the biology, in our consciousness related to the consciousness, and in higher levels as well, creating magnificent consciousness that enhance itself and balance itself perfectly. So why should we need energy? Why should we need healing? This is related to our consciousness and the enhancement of our consciousness by our instincts and our driving forces through our instincts. We are really special species throughout the universe. We are the only species where our driving forces from our instincts is just as strong in our higher reflections, in our higher consciousness, as in the lowest part. This has created a disturbance in a way where it's really difficult for us to balance ourselves, because the really strong driving forces from non-conscious layers of our system of our creation initiates and interacts with our higher consciousness, our reflections, our understandings, our comprehendings, our way of demanding, or way of deciding. And this disturbance has grown in more than 10,000 years, out of line, out of the balance within itself, out of the creation where the system creates itself perfectly balanced. The energy works in a way where it supports you and your system into remembering the original state where you already have everything you need in your system for perfect balance. The nervous system is a chapter by itself, and a lot of studies has been created in science and understandings of the difficulty with pre-activated nervous system that's already pre-activated when we are created in our mother's womb. In that time, when we are carrying the first DNA, that's us. A part of it comes from our father's line, a part of it comes from our mother's line, and in each lines there have been incidents, there have been traumatic experiences And this is embedded in your DNA memory. So you are already from the beginning, already before you are entering into this reality, you're carrying the trauma, the responses that ignite your nervous system. And in your mother's womb, if something happens, if something is disturbed in the growth, in the support, and the survival system is activated, then you will pre-activate again and embed further enhanced activation of your nervous system even before you enter this reality, even before you enter life with the first reflection that is truly yours after your birth. The energy work here is a support for the re-remembering, the steering with different angles, different tools for you to find, for your system to be allowed to find itself in a relaxed, released state where the capacities, the strength, and genius programs that you're carrying will be allowed to function and be allowed to do the best it can do. So here we open the first part of the stabilization, and the first part of the stabilization here, and the first part of the relief of grief and pain is a pure new era energy. And you put your intention on receiving. To some, it's a good idea to breathe and rest a bit. Maybe sit with your hands like this, perhaps laying down, relaxing and experiencing the receiving in your way. And actually, I cannot describe how you will experience this because it's different. It's different from person to person, but also from time to time. How you can sense this energy that begins to work for you. And at the same time, as you begin to be supported by the new era energy, the enhanced field that supports us begins to ignite more strong. To some people, it's clear, it's easy to sense. To some, it's like, perhaps I sense something, perhaps not, I'm not sure. Allow it to be. Allow you to be not at work at all. Be curious. Breathe if it's tense up in any way. If anything is showing itself by tensions, by pains that moves around, try to allow it and give it some space. Say thank you for showing me something is going on. Breathe and perhaps even pretend that the area that shows itself is much bigger than it is. We are not going into the special reasons to why we are carrying these different kinds of stress and instabilities and how it's generated. Just saying that it's natural in the way that we are built, in the way we are creating ourselves. But there's also a more natural state that we will try to ignite and reach with the energy work. You have met a lot of things in your life that create stress and grief and pain, but also your system within itself creates stress, grief, and pain. So it accumulates within your system. The reason why it accumulates within the system is because your survival system has a mechanism where it says if something is important, if it gives me a reaction, it's important that it's saved on my hard disk, so I will be more aware if anything like this happens again. And the difficulty is that when it's opened again and again for a significant amount of time, then your system will begin to learn and begin to decide by itself if this is stressful, if this is painful, if this will give me grief. The accumulation can create secondary pain, grief, and stress. So you can say that primarily stress, grief, and pain is related to actual experiences that you have, and the secondary is created by your own system. And you can say the tertiary, the next level, is related to the change in life it might bring you, that you're not able, not capable of creating a life, of living a life in a way where you could, in the way you could have if you haven't had this activation. So there's like levels of accumulated pain, grief, and stress within your system. And this stabilization that we are opening here and the release of grief and pain, the first part here is the one that I opened in the beginning, where I supported people with pure new era energies and energy ways. Maybe you sense a change, something is softening. It's like there's more space. The wind and the rain is coming here. It was just sunny before. It's kind of really suitable. It's a perfect scenery for this healing, this energy work, this session, this lesson. Breathe. To some, when your system opens and the energy begins to flow, a lot of different things can appear by itself, activate it, and it's a good idea to meet it, to recognize it, but allow it to be without analyzing it, without investigating it. I often compare it to after a meal. If your digestion has difficulties in following, uh, then you will burp, and you'll not analyze what comes out with the burp. It's just a release that's really good for your system. So the first things that might come up when the energy works, you can call it burps. Burps of pain, grief, and stress. Perhaps it's emotions, perhaps it's tension sensations in the body, perhaps it's memories that comes by. See if you can allow it to support you and support the energy to go deeper, have more space to do the work. Softening, like a soft, caring hug, comforting your system, telling it it's okay right now. You can let go. And what needs to stay will always stay. What is released here is what you could call surplus stress, surplus grief and pain that is overly activated within your system because of your system's way of functioning or misfunctioning, you could say. Perhaps you get sensations of tensions in your system, and to allow yourself to slowly, soft, smooth, move yourself if you sense tensions, and breathe is a good idea. Collaborating. And if a lot of tensions appear after such a healing, it's a good idea to support, perhaps with yoga or any kind of body therapy. Soft ones, because as the energy supports the release, if you use intense body work, intense body therapy at the same time, it can be too much. So soft ones to support the release. The tension that opens is actually related to that your system is detensifying. And by the detensification, it changes like position. Micro changes of position creates release in your body, and the release shows itself as tensions if the release is within the tensions. Often the secondary stress and grief related to the experience of being hindered and controlled by your nervous system, by the stress. Grief related to not being able to do what you want, what you have a meaning to, you're supposed to do. And small energy burps related to that can come by as well. Can opens, allow it. And if you have tensions or activations in your system that creates like small scares, then it can be a good idea to hold your hands on your body and my body is creating noise already by itself, because when we work with the energy in the energy system and it reach the physical system, then it will react, and it's a sign of healing. And as a healer, I receive the healing myself. If you have this small shocks that can activate within the system, it's a good idea to hold your hands on your body and at the same time experience that if it comes, it goes again. The nervous system's activating in survival mode will release the connection with the experience. And this is a good idea if we are truly in a situation where we need to do everything to survive. But in this situation where we are sitting here and everything is okay, then it's not a good idea. Then it creates disturbance in our memory in a system, because your memory would then experience the scare, the shock, but not that it disappears again. So for you to stay with yourself and containing the experience and harvesting the experience, that the unpleasant shock, small shocks and scares, that they release again, then you are reconnecting your system in the areas where it has detached due to or related to these activations of your survival systems. And the new era energy, the healing here, supports the reconnection in all the areas where it have detached. It will reconnect now. And the oscillations that goes within a system related to the activated nervous system will begin to be damped, minimized by itself, just by the reconnection with the experience, or the part of your consciousness that experience at the part of your consciousness that you are. Breathe. Now we reach the level that's available with new era energies and new era healings. I hope you sense a difference. And in the beginning, when I worked with this healing, I worked with people who were really, really troubled by the active nervous system. So I only focused on people who were really tensed and caught up in the nervous system's activation. But when I worked with always when I worked with the new creations of energy works and healings, I investigate how it works by using it on colleagues and their partners. So these healings, I use them on one of my colleagues' partners, and he said, "I'm not stressed at all. I'm so well. So I don't think I will have any experience with the healings." And I said, "It's okay. Let's try it." And then he came, "Wow, this is amazing. I haven't any idea of how stressed I really was until it released. And I sensed the difference." So even though you might be uh, in an understanding that you are perfectly balanced and no stress at all, it could be interesting to investigate if you sense any difference at all. So please give me a note in the comments if you sense any difference, and you You who are with me in Danish as well, you can contribute in Danish. You don't need to try to translate. I know how difficult it is. So we're just staying here for a little while. And then I open to the other level, this intermediate or enhanced new era energy, where the stability of the energy worker makes a difference. When you work with the pure new era energy, what balance, what ability the energy worker carries to anything, actually, to the energy work, doesn't matter. The power, the quality of the healing is completely the same, no matter what healer is giving it to you, delivering it to you, holding the field for you. If they are trained for all of their life, or if they practice for 5 minutes, the quality and the power will be the same. But when we switch into the enhanced new era energy, here the training, the practice, the balance of the healer makes a difference. At the same time, we are using the health field for enhancement and for the support for each and everyone to be met in your personal field, your personal need for healing. Breathe. And now I'm opening to the enhancement. Breathe. Sense your body. And whatever is going on, allow it. See if you can follow it. If anything moves, if anything changes, something comes and then it goes. The relief of grief and pain goes deeper and unlocks deeper layers, but still in a way where your system's inner wisdom delivers how it happens, how it opens, how it releases, how it goes deeper, and how it opens your own system's capacity to, in a balanced and beautiful, wise way, to contain the grief and the pain. And in the deepest, most high meeting with grief and pain. It is love. When your system, your consciousness short circuit with your inner wisdom, with love, then your power, your genius, your superior consciousness takes over. Naturally, like it would have already done several generations ago in this reality. If it wasn't through our system's possibility to carry this initiating survival system reactions, creating driving forces with lower ignitions into higher versions of yourself, disturbing your system's superior ability to be itself. And a sharing here, like a huge sigh and some physical signs that shows me where the stress hit me hardest. How beautiful that is. Thank you for sharing. Allowing it to show you and see if you can be with it, with your awareness, and see how the healing contributes for it to be more released and to be healed into your capacity, your superior mechanisms in your own system. Remembering and opening your nowadays version with all your capacities that's available right here, right now. The enhancements support your system to reach higher level than what's normally is activated in our everyday life. Levels that is reached in meditative states, or if you're really, really focused in something that you're enjoying and that you're good at, you reach this state of super focus, super capacity, or like a state of superior availability from within. If you know these states, now the energy work supports your system to reach this stage from within. And the reason why your system open to this level is because the energy work is mirrored through true love and through you mirrored in your mirror of what is true love. We have no words for this in our reality. But perhaps you sense it from deep within that your heart is strengthening. At the same time as you are so soft and so sensitive, so fragile at the same time. Allowing the fragility is so important to be able to release the pain and the grief and allow it to mature into your true carriage of what is your pain and grief related to this life. And in this state, it is love. When it's completely cleansed, then the stories that's also often related to whatever created these reactions, interactions, is activating states of being. And the history is important. But right here we are releasing the disturbance from the history and allow it to be in one library. So the history is in one library, and your nervous system and what your nervous system needs to function the best for you right here, right now, is in another library. So the library is diverted into what is related to your history and what is related to your nervous system's capacity to be the best you can be. This gives relations and deep levels back in your DNA memory, not only in your life, but in your ancestors, your family lineage. As the library is separated, it's like a burden is released from your nervous system, and it begins to rest in levels that's hard to achieve. Some people achieve them by meditation or by being good at being real calm, or by using a lot of time in their life to do something that gives peace, calm the system down, calm the system. The energy work supports you into reaching this level of resting in your nervous system. And the shift from the pain and grief into love slowly appears as a possibility. Still, a lot of reactions can easily go on. Allow it and follow it as good as you can. When it comes, it goes as well. and for your consciousness to follow it when it comes and goes. You are recreating these connections that is disturbed when we have survival reactions. Creates a fluttering, difficult consciousness and a difficult reaction in your system where your system's able to comprehend will come to an end. When your system is not comprehending by itself, your mental capacity will be called in as a support. And your mental capacity cannot find the solution to this, cannot find reasons. This is like a small calculator to be put to work to find reasons and solutions created by the strongest computer you could imagine. Your mental capacity to find solutions is related to what can be seen. What creates the disturbance from within is created by a capacity beyond belief. So to be released, we use a searing here, where we reach the state of searing the capacity of this beyond belief extraordinary supercomputer, quantum field consciousness. So you have a quantum field consciousness that disturbs itself, and then your calculator machine should find out why and how. And to find a solution to this, it's not possible. We only scratch the surface. So a lot of our understandings is without comprehendings. We open to the comprehending layer now, releasing it and allowing it to go to work, because it's uncaged. It has been caught in your nervous system reactions. Now, layers of stress, pain, and grief that has been caught up in this understanding is released. And to some, it will be like being so tired. Going from being pretty fresh, pretty focused, and then being so tired and defocused. If this happens, it's due to huge amounts of previous understandings without comprehendings. It's released. Our mental capacity has tried to manifestate and describe a reality that is completely out of level. Let's give it some vacation here. So instead of trying to put things together, we are hiring this part of our consciousness to be aware of something is changing, anything, and to follow the changes and see where it goes, what it brings. This orally activated nervous system, with the activation of the survival system, carries often a scare and re-traumatization by any changes, and sometimes, especially if the changes is within a certain area. And this is an activation from our species in a level before language. So before we developed a language to be able to communicate, in our system was embedded everything that we should jump for, that we should be scared of, just to be sure. So it's an automatic reaction. But through development, by instance, by language, or language is a sign of the development of consciousness that can reflect and that can connect things in a way where we reduce the scare. And not only reduce the scare, we are dividing it into how to take care of different things that scares us. But when it short circuits and when it's overreacting, then these capacities that have been developed through the language capacities development, the reflection, and how to interconnect and to divide things into different various ways. Differentiation. So when our system short circuits into non-differentiation and just says anything change, it's dangerous, then our system begins to jump within itself and dissolve things our system knows and can. It disturbs the connections, the internal connections in the consciousness. And when our internal connection in the consciousness is disturbed, then it will disturb our nervous system as well. So it will begin to create learning that is not of this world. Imaginary learning driven by our nervous system survival reactions. And this creates a disturbed connection with reality, where scares or small shocks can be created, activated with nothing that makes sense at all. We will go deeper into this in the next lessons, the next sessions. Breathe, sense your body. Anything is shifting. Observe the calculator part of your consciousness is now put to work. And the energy work supports your system in a way where all these connections within your energy system, all this connection within your nervous system, the communication system begins to release and reconnect in a way in your nowadays state, your nowadays maturity, Your nowadays capacities is zeroed from the 0 point, from before language skills was developed in your system, but without bringing you to that state. You're actually brought more into this stage of being you and your system's capacity to brilliantly being you. Breathe. Sense your body. Any bodily reaction is just sign of healing. It's just sign of the zeroing and the release, the reconnection. And it shows itself to us in a lot of different ways. To be curious, and your calculator consciousness, you allow it to be so aware of anything that goes on, to catch it, to show you how it shows itself, any signs of anything that's changing. And by choice, tracking anything that's changing at the same time as you're zeroing is supporting the energy work that's releasing these pre-activated ignitions of scare related to any changes. So now we are curious, we are adventurous for changes, and allowing our calculator consciousness to be so aware of catching any changes at all. So this is completely contradictory to how your system works in the survival mode, where it wants to get away from any changes and will be activated in a scared way to look for the changes, in a survival mode to look for changes. Now we are in a surplus mode, enjoying the changes, creating new connections within the system. And remember, this is release and recreation of part of your system that's meant to work in a way where it's not jumpy. The part of you that's meant to be jumpy will still be. We cannot disturb it. It's so strong. Actually, we are releasing the disturbance. Our natural capacity of jumping can be disturbed by a consciousness that's disturbed itself. The only capacity that's strong enough to disturb your system is the system itself. No energy from outside of you can be strong enough to create such a disturbance. So now we are using your energy, your capacity, your system's power to release itself. And you support by being aware and be curious of any changes at all. This shift, this change creates space within. Perhaps you sense it in your body, in your emotional state, in your awareness, in your consciousness, in your energy. As this space opens from within, it can create a kind of emptiness and a reopening of the grief and the pain. Sense the love, sense the energy that surrounds you and support you. Sense you being surrounding you and supporting you. As this layer of grief and pain that is stored because you haven't been able to contain them before is now contained. Breathe. If you get tired, really tired, it's signs of huge release. Allow it. If you're getting fresh and clear, it's still a lot of release, but then it's different. Then it's related to storage of pain and grief related to secondary experiences. If you get really tired, it's often, you cannot say it's equal to, but it's often related to one-on-one experiences that has created the grief and the pain that's released. The sense of being tired is almost like if you have cried a lot, and through the crying, the tears has released. This is just like instantly, like momentarily, it opens. If you sense nothing at all, it's completely okay as well. It doesn't need to be a sign of it's not working for you, or it doesn't bring you anything. To be aware, to be curious, to be adventurous about signs in your everyday life that shows that something is changing after the energy work. It's where it needs to show itself. It's in your everyday life. Now the enhanced energy works goes deeper and higher. Goes to the searing beyond belief. Goes to the capacity of searing that your system is carrying itself. The quantum field capacities. Fractal capacities. And this opens by itself if it's allowed. If it's supported, your system to be allowed to open its own capacity, it goes by itself. It's natural. To some, they experience like an expansion here. To some, they sense their body more. And if the body have been like tense and sore, then you might experience this. Perhaps hug yourself, stretch a bit, soft, quiet, easily. Breathe. And again, curiously look out for changes. from within. The energy is stretching, 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 releasing, releasing, releasing. Most of the instability created in a system is created by our own system. Stress created in so many ways amplifies the instability, creating a negative spiral. Stress amplifying the instability, creating more stress, creating more instability. Now we are breaking this negative spiral and entering the level of self-stabilization within your system. And as this foundation for stabilization opens, active works from within, what you could call the essential grief and pain related to being a human, seeing being, where we are experiencing seeing things that we cannot contain with love, something even that's not a part of our own life, but we know it exists. It creates these essential existential grief and pain. And when we can't contain our own pain and grief, there's no way where we will be able to reach the capacity to carry essential existential grief and pain. So it's there, but it will be experienced like an enhancement of our own pain and grief in our own life, like zooming in to our own experience and then enhance it by the existential essential pain and grief. Now when you raise the self-stabilization within your system, the energy opens to support your highest being and your deepest connection to zero itself, into the relation of the essential existential pain and grief related to being a seeing, a loving being in this fractuated reality where we experience so much that we can't give any meaning. Breathe. Intentionally great desire to. Together with the release, again, your system begin to reach a level where internal connections within your system reconnect into this self-stabilization capacity that's always been here but out of our availability. Releasing from a really deep level, and to some it can give quite physical signs. Observe it come, observe it go. Give it space. Be curious. Focus. Sense your body. Be curious to any change. Observe whatever comes and go. Release from deep within. Essential, existential pain and grief. Release. And allow your system's capacity for self-stabilization to reach these levels as well. It's always been here, but out of availability. Now it's actively supporting this healing, this energy work, this session, this lesson. The release allows your system to stretch, expand to the highest and the deepest capacity that you are. And this is completely beyond any expectation, any comprehension. Allow it, allow it, allow it. Breathe. And maybe you already have a lot of signs, a lot of inner knowings, experiences here that shows you and tells you something's going on here, something is happening. But to many, it's something and nothing at the same time, and then it shows itself in reality in everyday life, where we exist and experience. As it's shared here, I received a stressful message 20 minutes ago. It's like the nervous system has got a soft Teflon layer that helps in a way where the hardest part of the normal stress reaction is sort of bouncing off. All the best and love and good energy for the stressful message. And thank you for the supporting, for the support for the teaching by your sharing, because this is how it shows itself. The difference is that certainly to us is so sure that maybe somebody who knows us can catch the difference, but maybe not. In this, it's not needed. It's your experience, it's your truth that matters. And now the energy work goes into the last stage. That's a stabilization again. And now we are changing in the complete new era type of stabilization again that will kind of land the energy and land the energy work in a way where the healing will follow you the next couple of weeks and support you day and night. And I'll just, as this is switching, I'll just go and check out, because it says here that some destinations won't get the comments, so I might not get all the comments from the different destinations. So I'll just check out if there's any comments here that then I would like to read them, and if there's any question I would like to answer them. And I know when I do these English what's it called, live sessions, live lessons, then often not so many comes by, as I'm used to when I'm doing my Danish version, but that's natural. I've been working in Danish community for more than 10 years and just begun here in English. But just to do my part of my work to ensure that we meet each other, I just check here. This and this. Okay, checked here and there and everywhere. It seems that I didn't miss any comment at all. The energy is stabilizing and still working for us. Any questions that comes up? So please write them in the comments. And if you are participating with replay, I'll still come by and check out for comments to support with the answers. And the sharing here, an old stress reaction shows itself now really interesting. So thank you for sharing. When such an old stress reaction shows itself, sense your body, breathe, and allow it to react. Sense there's a part of you that's not reacting. The part of you that's not reacting, you reconnect with it through your body experience. Sense your body, and there's a part of your body that's not participating in the stress reaction. And please tell me if I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm off, sometimes I'm not getting it right. Not guessing it right. I'm using my ability to sense, my seer capacity, but it's not perfect. So if you sense your body and allow the stress reaction to unfold itself as much as it can, is it true that at the same time there's a part of your body that's not participating? Often when we are healed like this, it's like the energy work is like a massage. It's releasing, it's cleansing, it's cleaning up, it's reconnecting. And sometimes we have old reaction that opens as a part of a release. If it's a part of the release, then you can sense this connection with the body, and that's a part of the body that's not joining in the party. If everything is activated, then it's important to put your hands on your body. Use everything you usually do when you meet the old stress reaction, and follow it. Follow it when it opens, and follow it when it's closing down again. Then you're supporting your system's capacity to be connected with the old stress reaction and supporting it to reach it, to self-stabilize. These systems, they are unpredictable, and the way they react when we try to understand it with our calculator consciousness, it's not possible. So to work with it, following it, investigating it, allowing it is the best we can do. If we have reaction that opens and opens and opens and shows things that we haven't seen before, we didn't know, that has been hidden, then it's important to go to therapy to get support to handle it. We are worth it. We are worth it to get the best help we can get in things that is difficult. And therapy is suitable to put words upon and to be held in a safe space if we open to see things, experience things that has been hidden from us. It's not often that it's open in these kind of sessions, these kind of healings, because they are self-stabilizing. But I have heard about it. Any questions that comes up? And please share with me if you're ready how it goes with this old stress reaction you shared about. Share it with us. And the sharing here, thank you so much. I've experienced and relieve relations and emotions in dreams that belongs to childhood and youth. Is that part of letting go? Often when we dream, it's a natural self-cleansing system. The dream layers, handles things, pre-open things, is a part of our development system as well. You can be communicated in your dream layers. You can be communicated with. You can have updates. These kind of dreams seems to be a part of a work you are doing where you are renewing your relation to your history. Does it make sense that you are working really, really serious about renewing your relation to yourself and your history? Yes. So as a support to this important work that you decided upon to do for yourself, your dream layers support you well. So it's not like letting go, it's more like renewing. But you could say that's a part of letting go, couldn't you? It depends on the angle or the from where you see it. But in the word letting go, there's a part of losing it, isn't it? I lose something by letting it go. When you are working with it the way you're doing, when you're renewing it, you're not losing it. It 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 carries a worth instead. It delivers a worth. It carries a worth. I have the same dream type. It's asked. Is it the same for me? I think it's a bit different. I think that your dream type is related to that you somehow is working on taking in your power. It seems like you're on a path where you're working on taking in your power. So your dream work seems to support you in releasing experiences where you had experienced something, someone took your power. So it's like it's given back to you through the dreams. And this can be both, back and forth. So we can re-dream the experience where we lost the power, or we can re-dream the experience in a way where we are re-given, is it called that? The power back. We're given the power back. Does it make sense to you? And to the sharing before, thank you so much. That makes great sense. Thank you. Thank you. And sharing here. Oh. I discovered I watched 3 minutes delayed just for your information related to answered in the late comments. Oh, it's perfect. And yes, thank you. It made sense to take in your power. Beautiful. It's so beautiful how well our consciousness collaborates with us. But the disturbance from these carriage of negative spiraling, embedded grief and sorrow, grief and pain, disturbs the capacity. So this kind of healing supports our system to be more aligned with all the self-carrying capacities. Yes. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for the questions. It brings life to the teaching, opens to more possibilities, more angles on the healing. I'm so grateful for that. Oh, and the delayed comments. Did it? Did you experience that your body had a part of yourself you could connect to the body that didn't participate in the old stress reaction? Now you're more than 30 minutes delayed. I can add, yes. Okay, thank you so much. Then, when you have this experience that you sense that a part of you that's not participating, then it's a huge part of the release and a huge possibility for healing. Stay connected with the parts that's not participating and allowing the reaction heals the experiences of being overtaken by stress reaction, by active survival system reactions in a nervous system. Being able to stay connected and allowing it to flood, to flow, shoot streams within, and then stay and release, because after the flooding, after the streams, it will be quiet again. Maybe a bit tired, maybe a bit used in a system, but stayed connected. Does it make sense? So whenever we have this possibility, it's really a good idea to write it through. And if we're not, if it's like it's taking us, then we use all the things we already know that can support us the best as well as it can. Get help, get support. And it can be anything big and small. I have my dogs around me, so when I'm like overwhelmed, or if there's a part of me that's, if there's not a part of me that's not joining in, then I often use them, or I cleaning out the closets for real, or doing anything where I really sense my body and allowing it to flow, and support myself in a way where I'm not allowing it to decide upon anything in myself or in my life as good as I can. Because if we're deciding anything as we are taken by this, then often the decision is like a recreation of what's activating the nervous system. So it's a good idea to allow it to do whatever it does, even if it's flooding, to fence it in and to get support with the most love and care you can, and non-deciding is the best advice. And the more sharing here, that part was now the part that was most active visible affected by stress when we started, something changed. Wow. Really, really interesting. Exciting. It's a good sign. We have no proofs in this work, but a lot of signs. And this change that that something was not visible and then it's more visible and more active, that's a huge sign, a good huge signs of change, of release from within. Thank you. And congratulations. And you could say, why do you say congratulations when you do energy work? Shouldn't you be like expecting something like this? No, we never know. This is such an amazing system, and it's such non. There's no ability to analyze how things can be. So when we open the field and the energy work to support, we never know the path before. We know that your highest and deepest capacities know the path, the best path for you and your system. So we support this path to open where we never know in what part of the path we open and how fast it will go, where it will bring us in this session and next time. This session, this healing will continuously be available. I will allow it to stay for your use as much as you want, as much as you can. And then the next 5 lessons, this goes with sign up and payment for holding the balance with everything. It's a part of the work as an energy worker to hold the balance with giving things as availability for everybody, and then have something with payment to ensure balance in the energies and the physical levels as well. And it's multidimensional, meaningful, because this is such a difficult thing to explain. It's really difficult to explain how this works and to who it will make sense to participate. So it's also an entrance for you to choose if this is interesting, and if it was enough, and if it's what's available to you right here, right now, or if you want to join in on the path with the next lessons, the next healings. Breathe. And my language is more on development than the energy work. The energy work that we are sharing here is really well founded in experience and in development. But my language still develops. So that's also a part of it, that I know that it's a bit difficult to understand, and I'm not getting all the you could say details in a way that I normally can in Danish. But at the same time, I sense that it's kind of dragging the pace down, maybe even in a more suitable level to the energy work and to the teaching. And a question, is this somehow the same that is in Danish as the replay course? Yes and no. Yes and no. The channeled words is for sure different. The explanations is different. The way the energy opens the contribution is different. But the aim, the goal is the same. Not as the same. Not as the same as we have a 3-day course for teaching healers to use these healings. This is not a course like this. This is a course, a teaching that's related to a video 6-month course I created for people to attend on video. I've never did this in Danish as a live teaching, as a live session before. It's never the same. And yeah, that's also my sense with the language. Yes, and you pointed it out for me, didn't you? Thank you so much for that. And comforted me actually with it as well. It's difficult. It's like it's fragile to open to a new area with a new language and do something like this. Why do I do it then? Why don't I just stay where it works so well and I'm used to it? It's because it's calling. The energy, the signals, the connections, people who comes by tells me that it's important. And then when I look in the view of the people who have already used these possibilities and how much change it has brought to their lives, not everybody, but many, and nearly everybody have experienced some kind of change. A very few of them like miraculous changes, but most changes that creates difference in life. That's huge enough to give greetings and respect to the healings. And because of this, yes, this is why I'm sharing this. Hey, how are you doing? Hello and welcome here. I was on your last stream for last full moon. I remember. We're just on the end of this teaching, but the video will stay here. And actually, after your questions under this last full moon, I've been thinking much about doing open channeling sessions, but I don't know how to bring them out to you and anybody who would appreciate it. But because if I'm remembering right, you appreciated the channeled talk and communication. Is it right? So if you have any idea of how to reach other with the same interests, I would put up some live sessions for us to work on how far it can bring us. I came on by change. What is the name of these healings? It's a stress relief healings related to release of grief and pain and stabilization. Would you be a guest on my friend's podcast, Typical Skeptical Podcast? Would be good, I believe. Yes, I would love that. I'm so adventurous about these meetings and sharings and visiting each other's. I would love that. You'll be a great guest. Super. So I just write to your comment my email for you to easily address me, connect with me, and then we can put up a meeting. Yeah, it'd be fun. Do you have an email so he will contact you? Yes. I just find it here. And I follow you in Danish, and you're very special. I love your work. It makes a huge difference for me. You are doing great in English, so thank you. I put in comment section. Yes, so if you put an email there, I write to you. If it's okay, or I can put it in comment section here. Comment section. I'm channeling still, healing now, so my normal thinking capacity is odd. See if I can post here. Yes. I wrote the email contact and then the sign mariannelene.com. So then you can just write to me and I will write you back. Breathe, landing the energy here. So thank you so much, everybody, for participating in this live teaching and healing related to the nervous system, and especially related to stabilization and the release of grief and pain. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the comments and the energy. Thank you for everything that connects with us and supports us and why we're here and the adventures that life is. Hope to see you soon here and there, and hope you will share this video as well if you know anybody who would benefit of it.